Whenever.
Must be dead.
You've just stumbled upon JK's
Yep, just
Rewatchable
let me
Hour.
know
There
we're
we go.
recording. There we go. Good
Okay.
evening, everybody. Welcome to JK's Rewatchable Hour. You're probably noticing that there's no J or K tonight. K is busy doing what he's got to do, and J Dubs is working. So he put me in charge. We're gonna have fun. No.
Oh boy, we're in trouble.
Joining me, I'm Becky Cherwak, and you've probably seen me many times before, and probably see me again. And joining me tonight are George Muzzy, who has joined us many times, and Eric Evans, who's been our newcomer, but he's been joining us, and we've been having a lot of fun and getting a lot of laughs out of him.
Yeah.
So today was one of those days that I kind of wish I could rewind and do it again, or maybe skip the day, but we're here, we're real, and we're online. Actually, not online, I'm just recording us. But I'm fired, yes! Yes.
Oh boy, already.
Yeah, cool. But anyway, we usually never follow anything, and I'm just like Jeff. I am not prepared at all. I didn't write anything down. Um, George and I were talking and thinking of, talking about scary movies, ones that we like, different things. And I've got some that I like, and I'm sure you two have some that you like, or maybe you absolutely hate. And we can talk about them. And mine are more funny
All
ones
right.
because I'm one of those people who's not into the nasty, gory stuff. But when you give me something funny, I have to keep watching it. So that's usually what I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I like a little of both.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And then I have one scene that just freaks me out every time I see it, but I don't know why. And no one can explain why, except for the fact that it's a little girl.
Oh, which one is that?
It's Poltergeist.
Okay.
When the little
Oh,
blonde girl
Oh,
says,
yep.
"They're here,"
oh, that is freaky.
it
That is a
just
little freaky.
Right.
freaks
The
me
only
out.
one the only thing that ever freaked me out as a kid, it was watching Salem's Lot. And how my mother
Salem's
allowed
Lot.
me to watch this at like 3 or 4 years old. And it was on TV. There was one of the vampires on there, and he just freaked me right out. He had the white face, and it was all round, and he had the little spikes on the top of his head, and he totally freaked me out. And I can't even bring myself to watch it ever again. Even the new one they came out with, I can't do it. But I will tell you, as a teenager and as a preteen, my favorite things to watch was Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger. And the thing is, it was meant to be kind of gory, but a lot of it was so cheesy that it
Yeah.
was funny. And
Yeah.
I found myself like rewinding it and watching it again just so I could laugh. It's called. Does that mean I'm a sicko? Probably, but anyway, that's those were the what that was the ones that I stayed with. I didn't really get into a lot of the other, the super gory ones, even though um Fred used to rent them all the time, and I'd be sitting there watching these old vampire movies, but they were like B movies, but they
Oh,
weren't the old time ones. They were like mid 80s, and we were watching them in like the 90s, and it was terrible. I'm like,
okay.
you put this on and I'm gonna sit here and watch this? I don't think so.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
mean,
Get stoned to watch.
yeah, that's probably what he did.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of
We
good
had
good ones in the '90s.
yeah, yeah. I absolutely, another thing I liked was the old movies. The Frankenstein.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right. Black and
the
white.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Those
and the Mummy and the Blob, and they were just like the coolest things. They kind of like gave you the chills, and it was like really cool to watch. I mean, we didn't even have a color TV till I was in third grade, so a lot of it was pretty cool to me anyway.
Yeah. They might. Gore, they weren't the greatest, but the acting. I mean, they did such a good job at acting when in those movies.
Oh, some of them they were awful.
Oh yeah, some of them were.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my favorite ones is actually meant to be a satire, and that's Scary Movie 1 and 2, especially 2. I think that is like one of the most hilarious freaking movies ever. It's got Tim Curry and it's got the Wayans brothers, and I'm like, it's got the number 2 that's got Chris Elliott as Hanson with the little hand, and he's stuffing the turkey.
Yeah.
I will watch that scene over and over, and he screams Hiawatha. So every time we go to Syracuse and we have to take Molly to Joslin for her diabetes, there's a exit for Hiawatha Boulevard, and that would how I would break up my anxiety about driving is I'd see Hiawatha and I'd shriek out Hiawatha, like I had the movie. I have to see. I've got the humor of a 12-year-old boy. Sorry.
Going to Syracuse is a horror show sometimes.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus! Oh. I would rather drive in Rochester than Syracuse. Believe it or not, Syracuse is awful.
I don't mind Rochester except when my mother-in-law was at Golisano's.
Yeah.
And the way we took, you go through some sketchy neighborhoods to get to
Sometimes, yeah.
our first trip when we came back, it was like an hour or two after dark, and it was like, oh, don't stop for nothing.
That's the way.
Right. Just keep going.
Yeah, he was just up as strong yesterday, so.
Golisano is where I go get my MS treatment.
Yeah, that's where
Okay.
she was in the stroke unit up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Especially this time of year with Halloween. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Me, I think it is the lifesaver of the world.
It's a good hospital.
They have not messed with me one bit. Now, my primary here in Waterloo, I could kick her ass, but these guys up there, they know exact. My primary here looks like she's 13 years old. Like up and strong.
She does. She looks really young, but she's actually like only a couple years younger than me. So
when I picked out my MS doctor,
Yeah,
I saw him walking around the hospital, really bad limp, and I said, "Who the hell is that?" That's Lawrence Samkoff. And I said, "What's he about?" So they showed me his bio. I looked at this guy. I go, "You know what? If you're that fucked up working on people like me and you're fixing them, I want him as a primary." I took him.
Yeah,
he's got a huge.
He's got cerebral palsy. Yeah. He can barely walk or speak, but he's a fantastic doctor.
Oh, okay.
He's on Dr. Andrew Goodman's team, who doesn't practice anymore. He was a leading neurologist for multiple sclerosis in the Northeast. He's followed underneath him, and he works for him. I'll tell you what, this guy is the cat's ass. He actually follows a woman in Lodi, Ovid, who's I'll say she's got a gun shop. Let's put it that way. She doesn't like the guy because he spits. But his PA, Clark, she loves her. So I mean, she's a hardcore dude. I mean, she's a hardcore woman. So, it is what it is. He's still taking care of her. So it's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean the hospital. See, do we ever stick on one subject?
George is having trouble. No, maybe not.
No.
He's probably writing notes. Sit. What'd you do?
I scratched a scar. Not a scar, a scab, and didn't realize it itched. So I itched it, and it broke free.
Then you started bleeding all over the place, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He does that once a month.
I don't pick the scabs. Jesus.
Changing the oil.
Oh man. Oh man.
He's trying to make sure I laugh because he saw how bad I was earlier today.
Yeah.
It was a little hectic. I mean, I got over it quickly and did my sobbing and crying, and then I went. I did my run with my sister. That seeing seeing an actual person like that again triggered me thinking of my dad and Charlie and everybody, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about that today. I want to smile. I want to have fun. I mean, you guys have been
Fun.
really good at perking me up throughout the day. You know, every now and then I'll feel terrible, and then somebody has posted a reel or a meme, and it's just like, I can't believe that. You know, hey,
Right.
I like it though.
Laugh about that.
Is there any movies that you love or can't stand? You know, horror type movies or Halloween type things?
Lately, I've actually been into a lot of this. Kind of had a zombie movement over the last 10 to 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
I really got into it pretty good. The funny ones right up to the more serious ones. And some of them aren't gory. I mean, like Z Nation is kind of funny, but kind of serious all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really got into Walking Dead for a while.
Would you believe I've never watched The Walking Dead, but I've seen clips.
No?
I mean, there's one guy in that show that was on the show that I absolutely love. Yes. But that's just because was gorgeous, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you know. Anyway, showed up looking like him. Okay, you can come in the house. But
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't get into it until like, oh my God, they had 11 seasons. It was probably the 5th season because my youngest daughter was watching it, and she had me start every week. One Saturday she came out and she had like 5 episodes she needed to catch up on. Said, can I use the TV and watch them? I'm like, sure. So sitting here watching 5 hours of The Walking Dead, I'm like,
Dead. Wow.
I'm gonna start watching this.
That'll put you.
Yeah. So then I had to go back and watch it from the beginning, and I had I had 5 seasons to catch up on to get up to where it was.
It's like my sisters both love Supernatural, and I've only seen like 2 episodes. I've seen clips, but I've only seen 2 episodes. But I didn't have cable years ago when it came out, so I missed all that. I missed True Bloods. I missed Vampire Diaries. I missed all that crap.
The weirdest
part now I can go.
Supernatural is the early years.
Yeah.
Watched them, but then she stopped watching them. And then my oldest daughter started watching them later. Because they went for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a long time. And
I
was like, I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes. That's it. And my sisters will rewatch the whole series. They'll watch as much as they can in one day.
I only watched when I was in the room when somebody else was watching it. That's all I ever saw.
I haven't watched it. There's some that
I'm
not really into the horror part of TV. Usually when I'm watching TV, it's usually I've been watching, you know, the true crime stuff with the Melendez brothers. I watched an episode of that, and I'm gonna keep going. But I don't usually watch a lot of the horror stuff on there because usually when I watch it, it's my downtime. So I either want something that's gonna knock me out or something that's like funny. I don't want to be freaking out all night.
No, watch what I watch. The Sopranos.
Yeah, he watched The Sopranos. Yeah. Sitting there watching a movie like Goodfellas. I mean, the gore in that was pretty bad anyway, and I'm not. Yeah, but that's not. But it was expected, you know. When you see you know someone's gonna get killed when a certain type of music starts playing, just like a horror movie. But there's something about the horror movies that, the '80s ones that were so cheesy that you had to love them, like Silver Bullet and the original It, not this new Pennywise. I didn't like him, but I think it's because I actually like Tim Curry as Pennywise, and
Wayne
with him looking more like a real clown you'd see without looking as sinister as this Pennywise does, because this guy looks mean all the time, whereas the first one he looked like the happy jolly clown, and he'd get the kids to come over because he was happy, and then he'd kill him.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the Stephen King movies from the 80s, because we read the books and we had to watch them. You know, Pet Cemetery, and Cujo, and Christine, and
Cujo.
Carrie,
That
and oh my god! I mean, some of those were pretty nasty, but a lot of them were like more psychological, as opposed to just plain out gore. You know, and
Right.
it was kind of. I think that's what made us, more on edge about certain things, and it just. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like. I mean, I know something like Pet Cemetery obviously is not going to happen,
Right.
but it's just freaky at the same time because you could almost picture it happening, even
Right.
though the the special effects were not the best back then, but at the same time, it was kind of creepy.
Pretty good. Oh
I
yeah.
remember Creep Show too. A lot of the Creep Show. There was another Stephen King one there. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one. No.
It's about a huge rat.
A huge rat?
A huge rat that was killing people. A genetically modified rat. And the rat was going
What
around.
was the name of it again?
He's trying to remember the name of it.
I can't think of the name of it.
A huge rat.
There were a bunch of huge rats.
Okay.
The rats were killing people. Of course, they didn't like water, so they stayed away from the ocean. But if you were on land, they were going to find you and kill you.
Yeah, I'm getting a boat. I'm just letting you know I'm getting a boat because
I'm getting a boat. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, rats are nasty. And was there, even like Jaws was kind of like a thriller versus, and
see, Jaws didn't freak me out.
It
didn't freak me out because
we live in an area that's surrounded by lakes, so that those sharks are not going to be in those lakes. It's impossible.
But see, when they filmed Jaws, it was Martha's Vineyard. The next island over is that's where
he used to live.
There's no sharks that fucking big.
Oh, okay, right. We're talking about lakes. What about Lake Placid? You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
I heard shit about that.
You ever seen the one called Lake Placid?
The movie?
Yeah, Lake Placid.
I can't remember if I watched that or not. Some of them are pretty.
The giant gator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
The lady feeds it.
Was feeding it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that. I remember seeing it. That's been a while since I've seen that though. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty
much. But I remember that was like the thing to watch when we were kids was, other than trying to see whatever we could get through on the channel that was scrambled, a lot of the stuff that we watched was the horror movies that really weren't, they weren't suitable for kids, but we were watching them anyway. But it wasn't something like Faces of Death where they show real deaths. That I didn't like that. And the really bad ones, I was more mainstream, and they were more psychological thrillers. Like my Silence of the Lambs and the Hannibal, and I Red Dragon. I liked those movies because you can actually see that happening. You can picture it happening.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like freaky. I mean, Cujo, you can see a dog going rabid and attacking people, but especially something as big as that Saint Bernard, and it's kind of neat.
Like Friday the 13th, and then Freddy Krueger, Mike Myers, and Halloween. Yeah. What made those movies so scary, I thought, when I watched all of them, was that you never seen the character. Like, you only seen the character a handful of times in the movie, so it was like, when you seen it, it was like scary and surprising and all at once.
Yeah, you didn't
because
really
it was all about something. The plot of the movie, right? You didn't see them, and I think when you see them, you're like, oh wow.
Like the first time the first time you actually saw Freddy Krueger on screen.
Right, exactly.
That was what was freaky. I mean, because I think in the first one you heard the nail scratch, and you saw the claw marks on the person, but you didn't actually see him, and that was a little weird.
Yeah,
it was.
Right?
Yeah,
Didn't look like a Freddy Krueger. It was an old man.
Yeah, and then there was Jason. I could see somebody being wearing a hockey mask and going to town on people. Chainsaw,
Yep.
Now,
you heard more scary music and all that kind of stuff.
the franchise you just talked about, the Halloween one.
Yeah.
The weird part about that one, has anybody seen Halloween 3?
No.
I think I have, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Look at it. Watch it.
I haven't seen it.
It has nothing to do with Michael Myers at all.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's not even there.
Yeah, because he died, right, in the second one or something.
I think so, but they bring him back in the next one. But Halloween has nothing to do with any of the other ones.
The only one I saw was the first one. I didn't see 2. And after Friday the 13th part 3, I pretty much gave up because it was getting a little repetitive.
Yeah.
But I did watch all of the Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make any sense. But I kind of liked Freddy. It was cool. It was, I don't know, there was the fact that at the time we were kids and teenagers that were going through stuff and didn't always sleep well to begin with.
Right.
So then you're like, I'm not going to sleep. Fuck that. Nope, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to sleep.
Just like John's.
Want to watch a Friday the 13th one? It's, I don't know exactly what I think it's Jason in space.
Oh my gosh, it's gotta be terrible.
Absolutely stupid.
Spaceballs is funny.
Right. I know this probably isn't.
Yeah, but it was like,
can't remember.
I don't remember it neither. We only watched
Over the desert.
We only watched like 20 minutes of it. And even my wife, who loves those movies, said no.
I don't think I've seen that one. I know I didn't do I didn't watch the Freddy versus Jason. That's the one, Nightmare on Elm Street. I know I did not watch.
That was stupid.
Because I heard it was terrible.
I seen it, but I
was like, well, and this is from someone that loved Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. So
what I remember is like you didn't see the character very much.
No, you didn't.
The story, and then it's like 2 seconds, and you see the character, and it's like, okay, So,
the special effects back then was nothing compared to what they can do now, and it still was kind of gross, like I mean, just think about the mask for Halloween for Michael Myers.
Right.
Do you know that's a Captain Kirk mask that they painted white? That's all it is. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't know that. I know it's Captain Kirk. I knew it was. Someone like.
It was William. It was a mask of William Shatner, Captain Kirk. And they painted it white because they couldn't use it as that because it was licensed to Star Trek.
To Star Trek.
What?
Okay.
I've got a dog giving me the eyes.
Me and my wife, we watched one.
Not getting any more food. Stop it.
We
guys ever seen
equal air.
Go lay down. I already gave you food.
Yeah.
You're a whole bowl full of kibble.
She thinks she needs people food.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll do.
So we watched a movie the other night, a Halloween movie called Trick or Treat. It's on Peacock app. I don't know if you guys have Peacock, but it's nothing else on TV, so we watched it. And let me tell you something. That was a crazy movie. I mean, it's basically about kids in the neighborhood that go to this guy's house, and he ends up being, I don't know, like a killer of kids in the neighborhood, and he buries them out back of his house.
Ooh. And
I'll tell you what, it's really good if you get a chance to watch it.
Seen that. I did see.
Yeah, it's good. It's called Trick or Treat.
More
Stripper too?
No,
Oh, he said stripper
it's called
too.
Trick or Treat.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
going deaf,
that's
so
what it's called.
he
It's
tells
kind of a,
Stripper Treat. Yeah, okay. Anyway,
go ahead.
and one of my favorites, it really did not do good in the theaters, and it kind of has a cult following now. And
Mm.
some people say they've never seen it, and I think I've seen it well over 100 times, and I laugh every time. My kids think it's funny. My family loves it, and I'm gonna say it. It's Hocus Pocus. It really is a dumb
Oh
movie,
yeah,
but I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's just funny. If you sit there and it's like, and I'm on a fan club page, and there's all these people say it's not historically accurate and blah blah blah, because how would they know about a
right.
learner's permit and this? And I'm like, it's not meant to be historically accurate. It's fiction. It's
Right.
funny. Laugh about it, you know. And that is, I absolutely love Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus 2 I wasn't as big of a fan of, even though I was waiting for it for 30 years, you know. But I'm
Right.
like, I didn't really like it. But I think that's just because the way they portrayed the witches wasn't the same.
Right.
But that's,
Right. Yeah. Right.
I absolutely love the first one. And then
Well, it's
you
animated.
know, no, it's not. It's not animated.
No, it's not. Okay, I was thinking it was.
No.
About two stupid blondes and a fat woman. It's all right.
Stop
It's
it.
all right.
I love that one. And then sticking with Disney, um, they have two haunted mansions, and
Right.
one was
Mm.
the one with Eddie Murphy, and then there was a
Mm.
new one, and that came out. I do believe that came out last year, and they're both pretty good. And the
Okay.
special effects and the things that they do, and seeing Danny DeVito, and it was like really cool watching
Yeah.
this movie, and that how much
Right.
work they put into them now. And it would, it's probably based the there's a ride that at Disney that's based on it, and it would kind of probably be kind of fun to go into something like that. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I like
Tower of Terrors. I've gone down that a million
Tower of
times.
Terror. Oh, there's Haunted Mansion
Well,
now
yeah,
too.
there is a haunted mansion before you get into the Tower
Well,
of
like,
Terror.
Yeah.
well, like, wait, right now in October, what's the big Halloween movie? It's what do you got?
Um,
Beetlejuice. I mean,
it
what
will
is out
be
there?
well
What?
right now because they've just released Beetlejuice, which is
All
part
right, but
2, and
yeah.
that's got they brought back um Catherine O'Hara as Delia,
Yeah.
and
They won't back that up.
and they brought back
Winona
Winona
Ryder.
Ryder for as Lydia, and they took the
Right.
girl that played Wednesday on the Netflix series as her daughter. Now they
Okay.
did not bring back Jeffrey Jones as the husband that killed him off.
He was too busy playing with
But
the
Okay.
they found out
Right.
remember he was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he was kind of like a creeper. Well, it turns
Oh
out
yeah.
it turns out
Yep.
he was a creeper in real life, and
little boys.
he liked little boys, so he
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
Gotcha.
They kind of
Hmm.
didn't have him in the movie, but it looked. I mean, I haven't seen that yet, and I kind of want to, but I don't want to like pay for it, so I'm kind of I'm waiting
Right.
for it to come out. On Netflix.
Right, but I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, but other than that, there isn't no like Halloween movies or
No.
Friday the 13th or that kind of movie out at all
No.
for Halloween.
What's that
Anyways,
called?
there really isn't. I don't
The
understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I
If
used to
they're
walk on
no
back. I can go up
run
and
out
down.
ideas or what it is.
I don't
The
know.
Hitchhiker. He
Weird.
did really weird fucking shit to people.
Oh, he's talking about. Remember, it was like
Series.
HBO back in the '80s. It was called The Hitchhiker, and the guy
Oh,
would
okay.
walk along, and
That was a long time ago.
some
Wow.
weird, freaky shit would happen.
He had a backpack. He walked up and down the streets. I only watched it because of the girls and the tits, and that was it. But he was killing people. He's doing really weird shit.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. That's a lot of the
I
reasons people watch movies.
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
not me,
remember.
but hey.
I don't know that one.
Oh man.
I gotta get the exact time. It started at 10 o'clock in Massachusetts. And I said, I know at 10:15 I'm gonna see my first movie. I was happy about that. Shut the door. Boom. Give me my sock and my fucking gel. I'm good to go.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah, because there's 11-year-old sleeping with me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeff's gonna be putting the rated R symbols up on the corner somewhere.
Yeah. That's how we are. I knew we were going to keep on topic. We never do.
Oh, yeah.
But this is
We're doing all right.
I mean, we're doing okay. The rest of the day has been good. Hitchhiker was kind of a scary series. And remember the Twilight Zone, the movie?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was the helicopter. It was the guy
on the wing of the plane.
Oh, that was John Lithgow, the guy on the wing of the plane. And then they actually couldn't finish filming all of the one scene because the guy and the two little kids got killed from the helicopter because it was too close. It was they
really?
stood up a little too fast. And
Poltergeist. That was a fucking freaking.
yeah. Oh,
even the old lady that was in that died.
I know. Poltergeist. Did you know that when they had the swimming pool all filled with the skeletons, that those were real skeletons?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd you?
It was cheaper to use them than it was to get all the fake ones. So that was
fake ones.
Yeah. I found that out. That
Okay.
You have to have
The heck did they do? Go dig them up in a cemetery? Jeez.
Probably donated, I would imagine.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, they've got these people farms. I saw that on CSI, but I found out it's real. When people donate their body to science, sometimes they will stick them. It's a controlled but not controlled environment to see how decomposition would be, and with certain temperatures and certain critters that could crawl and all that stuff. It's kind of I stumble upon something like that and you didn't know it was there. That would kind of freak me right out.
I kind of saw something like that. I don't remember what it was on, where they would train. They would train like the CSI people on how to tell how long somebody had passed or something.
Yeah.
By over here a second. Actual people that donated their body.
Yeah, that's how they learn. It's kind of
wow. I've never heard of something like that.
We'll bury you up on Wood Hill. Martha used to say all the time, no name, no stone, no everything. Pick them up there. There's no family.
Pottersfield.
There you go.
That's what my aunt said. She just wants to be thrown into a potter's field.
She is a potter.
Okay.
I don't want a funeral. I don't want this. I don't want that. And then 2 minutes later, she wants bagpipes playing Amazing Grace. So we're just like,
who said that?
Aunt Mary.
Yeah.
Hi, Aunt
I'm
Mary.
talking about the aunt on the other side who's fucking crazy. Who said I'm gonna steal the tractors and take the farm over.
Oh, that's not my aunt. That was Charlie's aunt. No, that was Charlie's aunt, not my aunt. But anyway, I think we're supposed to stop for about 30 seconds here recording so we can take our commercial break.
Break.
So hang on, everybody. We're going to go to our first commercial break. And I think Jeff's probably going to say, you guys suck. And I'm going to tell him. Anyway, hang on 2 seconds. I have to figure out what I'm doing.
Bet we weren't recording there.
Yeah, we're back to recording. Yeah, Jeff should start smoking crack, and then we'd know what he's doing.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, Jeff's not going to touch your butt. Knock it off.
Kelso doing this stuff.
Jackie? Yeah, Jackie's a dog. She thinks Jackie's a dog.
I'll be having tacos for lunch.
She's a dog.
Oh. She says Jackie thinks that she's a dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie's not a dog.
What the heck happened to my... There we go. I'm like, I've got this big, huge picture of me on the screen. I'm like, I don't need to be that big.
Trying to put Mama Jugs
what are you trying to do, Molly?
Nothing, just warm.
Just warming what?
Just exercise.
Get out of the pantry and go
Exercising your butt on the door. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't ask.
I'm protecting.
Casey's quiet, so he's either sleeping or jerking off. So we're just
in the corner over there hiding.
Yeah, Steve,
Okay.
Touchdown.
He's done it. We'll just say. Anyway, now that we're back, I think. Am I still recording?
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm still recording.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
And I also
Alright.
like to call
Yeah.
Jackie the dog woman.
Yes, we know you like to call Jackie the dog woman. See,
And sometimes I like to get, since I'm getting kind of
Dog
bored,
woman.
I think I should call her Miss Dog Woman.
Miss Dog Woman. Okay, what are you gonna call Eric?
Oh no.
You don't know? How about George?
The guy that wants to book.
No, she calls Jeff the creepy peeping butt crap,
Butt touching weirdo.
butt touching weirdo.
Oh my god.
Gotta touch her butt.
He's not gonna touch your butt with the amount of shit you don't
All right,
want with
that's
the
what
butt
you
dog.
do. You know my name.
The creepy peeping butt touching weirdo. Yeah,
And the dog woman.
and the dog
Oh,
woman.
man.
Okay, she hasn't come up with names for everyone else yet.
She does. She just not gonna say it.
And Mom likes to call Aline the wiener.
Yeah, we call
That's her
Lean.
assignment.
Okay,
Okay.
just shaking your butt. Okay, she's behind me. She doesn't realize that I've got the camera set so it blurs everything in the background.
That's
So.
why
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
there.
Poo pants.
That way there it doesn't look like my house is
Objects on the screen. They seem to be.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh,
We're real
anyway,
people. Real
now
people's
that we're
houses get
back,
dirty.
are we gonna keep talking about movies or things that we do around Halloween or that we used to do around Halloween?
Go bump in the night.
You know, like when I was a kid, I mean, I couldn't possibly, at the age my kids are now. I mean, obviously, I can't let them go out on their own because of the way that they are with their special needs. I was
Right.
going out with my friends on our own, and
Mhm.
we were always terrible. It's probably why nobody goes out anymore because we were that terrible. I mean, there were eggs and tomatoes and toilet paper and shaving cream
Oh,
and
yeah.
soap. And I mean, the whole town, every town was freaking covered in it, and we'd always one of us,
Mhm.
one group of kids would always make it somehow to another town to freaking bomb that town.
Oh yeah.
Remember
Oh, yeah.
one Halloween, I was wearing a big, huge army jacket with pockets. So a couple of the older upperclassmen grabbed me, and we went to Romulus. And remember how back then Romulus and South Seneca absolutely hated each other.
Yeah.
So
Right,
we
yeah.
we had shaving cream and toilet paper and eggs, and I can't even remember everything else.
Yep.
I also remember we were also in Ovid doing the same thing, and one of my friends that I hung out with on a regular basis the next day came in. She goes, "Yeah, a bunch of assholes toilet papered the house and soaped the freaking windows." And I was like, "Yep, that was us."
Oh, yeah. There was a lot
No,
of that
but
going on.
back then we expected it, and nowadays, I mean, kids wouldn't. Well, they'd probably smash pumpkins and do stupid things too, but nothing as bad as we did because there's always someone watching them. There, I don't see many kids out without supervision anymore, other than walking to and from
Well,
school. You know,
right. I think
Yeah.
what's ruined it is they're having all these trunk and treats and stuff like that, and it just
Mhm.
kids don't do what we used to do.
No,
No.
I
They're
mean,
going
I
around to
live.
people's cars with their trunks open, and that's it. There's no fun in it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that for like a church group, but they do it everywhere.
Oh,
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's to make sure kids all get this. I mean, I told Molly I wasn't going to take her trick or treating because she was mouthing off to me last week. And, the last 3 years that we've been here, John sits on the front porch while I take the kids out. And Casey gets about half a block, and then we come back and bring him in, and he just runs around the house while John's still sitting on the porch. Molly and I'll do another block or so. And by the time we get back, John's shutting the light off because we're out of candy. And I buy a ton of candy. But I live right
Andy. Yeah.
I live right on Virginia Street. So it's
Yeah.
Route 96. So I'm like right not in downtown, but
Yeah.
it's like this is a very populated area, so there's a lot of kids. And I'm telling you, we went through What?
I ran out of candy.
Yeah, he ran out of candy, and I came in the house and grabbed all the old chips that the kids weren't eating and fruit snacks and shit, just so I could help him get through it. I don't have any Pepsi.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this is for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice.
Sweet.
There's no Kool-Aid either. You drank it all.
Mhm.
He's not happy with me today.
Casey, shut the door.
We live in the village, right directly in the village.
Yeah.
And we lived here since 98 in the same spot. And we've had maybe 3 trick-or-treaters since 98.
That's
No
it?
joke. And we're,
Wow.
yep. And we're not even a block outside the village on a side
Huh.
road. For some
When I
reason,
lived-
nobody comes up this road. I don't get it.
When I lived in Ovid, I at least when I was an adult before I moved to Lodi, I didn't get many trick-or-treaters even though I was on Main Street because I was in an apartment building. But when
Yeah.
they did come up, they were happy because I remember I was taking my nephews out and my nephew opened the door and said, "Sorry, we don't have any candy." I said, "Well, wait a minute. I had a case of Pepsi." So I was heading, there was only like 3 or 4 kids. So I like gave them that. And they were like, "This woman's giving out Pepsi." So they're running up the stairs. Those stairs weren't exactly the widest stairs, you know. I'm like, nope. But that was, and then when I lived in Lodi, we lived way out on 137 out by the junkyard. So we didn't get trick-or-treaters.
Right.
I had one family of trick-or-treaters 1 year. And that's just because it was someone that was working for Charlie, came out with his kids. So
Did you live at Charlie's at his farm, his dad's farm?
yeah, we built a house right next to his parents' house.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was up there. Yeah, I was wondering if that's okay.
Yeah, that's where we were. No, we're not there
I spent a
anymore.
lot of time there when I was younger. Well, I spent a lot of time there back in the early 90s. I remember the cabin. They had a cabin out back. We used to go out and
There's cows in the front yard now.
Right.
Yeah, there's cows in the front. Well, there were cows in the front yard when I was there, but that's just because we were moving them around as a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going there, and Charlie's dad used to get all the baked goods and all that stuff from Freihoffer for all the pigs and stuff.
Yeah, he'd go up to Carol Covert's because Carol had all the pigs.
Yeah,
And he'd go up to Freihoffer's and load the truck. And then when he'd come back, Charlie and his dad would go up to freaking Covert's and pick out all the stuff they wanted. And most of it was still good. It wasn't like it was rotten. It was just outdated. And, you know, that type of stuff is still good for, you know, a few days. But there'd be donuts and pizza shells and stuff like that. And, if you froze it, it would last a while. But, you know, it was
We went over there on Halloween, I think. I think he had a party there on Halloween, if I'm not mistaken, a few times.
He probably did.
Yeah. Years ago.
Did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there was the cabin out back on the neighbor's property.
Yep. Yeah, I remember going there.
Yeah.
I remember one
Halloween cooking hot dogs and the beer. Yeah.
I remember one Halloween, and I had a couple of male friends that were actually friends of mine, and one of them had a slingshot. You had to put your foot on one hole and a foot on another hole, so the other guy was loading the slingshot and launch it. Now, I and one of the other guys worked in a restaurant. We found a way to take a 144 count of eggs out of there. There's the whole case. And we were launching eggs a mile away, a mile out of the whack. They were hitting houses. You had people screaming. Hitting cars. The cops are coming.
Oh my God, that just reminded me.
Shit all over the place. It was funny as hell.
I
almost went to jail that night. See, I couldn't get out of it. My dad was a cop, so he was going to cover me on that. But we were launching shit all night long.
Well, George knows the town we grew up, Interlaken, they had the agate factory, remember?
Oh, yeah.
There was
the eggs and stuff.
Factory. Had the chickens.
Where?
If you knew people that worked there, you could get a lot of eggs.
Got a lot of eggs. And they got, and if you were smart, you got them like a week or 2 ahead of time and did not refrigerate them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Hearing him talking about launching the eggs. Yeah. I was not involved. I was not involved at the time. But do you guys remember Gary Harris's mother, the Harris's mother, Mrs. Harris?
I remember Gary, but I don't.
Yeah, I know.
She was an
Family.
alcoholic, and she did not like white girls at all.
Okay.
Remember that? Because her sons were always getting involved with white girls, and she always had her hair in a do-rag. She was riding her bike on Main Street, and there were a few guys up on top of where John's pharmacy used to be. It's a boutique now,
Yeah.
and she was
Corner.
yelling at them, telling all the white girls, the honky white girls, to stay away from her boys.
Oh.
And she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and the guys were up on top of the roof pelting eggs down. That's mean.
Oh my God, the same.
But back then, it was, they were like 14, 15 years old, and she was just, she hated all of us. She didn't care who you were. She didn't care if you were related to her. She hated everybody. Oh my God. Riding up and down saying, "You stay away from my son." Oh my God, she was hilarious. Riding her bike. I just remember things that we did, even when it wasn't Halloween. The dumb shit we used to do in the gazebo.
There's a lot of things I don't want to say.
Just hanging out in the park, and
Oh yeah.
We're just sitting there. That's a Pepsi in my hand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Gazebo saw more ass than you did.
He's like, gazebo saw more ass than I did. Yeah, probably. It didn't seem
every town has their.
I'm not from here.
Oh yeah, that gazebo, and the little spot behind the library.
A friend of mine that said,
"Oh yeah,
I think I can talk about it." Mike Allen told me some shit that happened all the way up and down the fucking lake. And whether he was a part of it or not, I can't say.
Oh, do you hear the fart noise behind me? Do it again. Louder.
Can't hear you, Molly.
I get to hear that now. She's practicing her trombone.
That's a flute.
Oh, okay.
That's a flute.
I'm a lucky mom.
I thought you had a donkey in your house. No.
Come here. Yeah, the dog is like got anxiety over it. She's like,
I got a close friend of mine. He has a full size pig in his house.
Oh jeez.
They've had it for a long time. That thing is funny. Oh boy.
That's not loud enough.
Can't hear you, Molly.
Do it louder. Come on.
At 4 o'clock in the morning over your mother's ear.
No.
Yes.
Oh man.
Hey, that just reminded me. I could wake her up tomorrow morning with
Not
one.
with that, you won't. So that's wrong. I want her sleeping. I don't want her.
I actually have woken her up with a cowbell before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I have to wake her up a certain way. I have to say 3 very specific things, and then I have to add another thing to it, and then I have to start playing a song and start singing. And my singing voice is the worst singing voice you will
you
hear.
Get the dog up there to lick the hell out of
it. No, the dog comes in to lick her face too. But come here. You want to say hi to the boys? Yeah. Come here.
Does she wake up after all, anyways, or?
Yeah. Hey.
There's nothing in the bowl.
Say hello.
Bullshit.
Where's the dog? Oh my
Honey.
Stop licking my rice.
He's like, I don't care about them. I got food.
I like
empty bowl. I made jambalaya tonight, and it was good. I haven't had that in a while. I just wanted something quick and easy, and I add smoked sausage to the Zatarain's mix, and I add more rice to it because it's too salty with all that stuff in it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Right.
I had
I haven't had that in a long time. Yeah.
The kids won't eat it, so they had chicken fingers and French fries. But when you've got 2 kids on the spectrum that have a limited diet anyway, you can always win with chicken nuggets and French fries.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
George actually like that. Chicken nugget, French fries, and beer.
That sounds good, actually. I haven't had a beer in a few years,
a long time.
but I can't have regular beer, so I have to buy the fancy gluten-free stuff, and then most of the time it tastes like shit.
Oh,
Right.
Bud Light, everything's okay. You're already a girl.
I'm not a beer drinker.
Yeah, I'm not much of one anyway, but
I've tried it. I'm just not into it.
I'm just looking at my injuries from today. I got a bruise there and a bruise there.
Becky bought me a 6-pack when I was in Lodi. We left Lodi. There was still beer in the fucking holder.
Yeah.
I don't drink.
It's
I wanted to try it because it was platinum Bud Light, and I wanted to.
He wanted to
check it out.
try it, so I bought a 6-pack, and he's like, "Ew, okay."
Buy that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, we left it under the sink.
Yeah.
Whoever wanted it out there can go to it. But yeah, we haven't really done a lot of.
I have.
She took a hardcore
Yeah.
Captain Morgan's and Coke shit out of there though. That went right with her.
When I want one, it's either Captain Morgan and Coke or a margarita. Other than that, I'm not real huge drinker. Occasionally,
yeah.
and it's mostly because you've heard and seen both children, and I kind of got to be on high alert for them, so I can't really
Oh yeah.
imbibe too
Right.
much.
I took her
Yeah, you
out
don't
to
wanna-
dinner once. The first time we went out where we could eat Red Lobster, and she got a couple margaritas. I got this bitch loaded. She didn't know who her name was by the end of the night.
Yeah, 2 margaritas. It was buy one get one,
Yeah.
and it was the type
Oh.
of it was you had to have both put on the table at the same time, and I'm like, I can't drink that.
You know what? Buy one get one free alcohol is. It's
Oh.
called buy one get a headache for free.
Oh my gosh, I
Right?
couldn't even finish the second one. I got
I
like
could
2
have got
sips.
lucky so bad, but I was driving the car and I wasn't drinking. And I had to get the kids home.
Yeah, because we had the kids with us. I was like, oh, margarita. I haven't had one of them in years.
I got
He's
the
like,
twins
here.
out and they're gonna be really free tonight. Not those twins, the kids.
Yeah, we're not really big onto
No.
that, but we do have some occasionally. We're
Yeah, sometimes you gotta go out and have fun.
Yep.
our hard stuff is this: we go to the gas station and we get Pepsi and Diet
soda
Pepsi.
every night. Really
I have
Safeway.
had 2 giant Diet Pepsis
if Becky's
today.
really saucy, she'll buy some limes with it.
Yeah, I might buy some limes.
Get some lime in there.
Well, it tastes good.
It'll get you juiced up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Today was a hard day, and I'm having a hard time thinking about what else we could talk about, and I don't know. It's just been one of those days that
it's hard to believe it's almost been an hour.
Yeah, that cat is cute. Is that the one that Jen says is a pain in the ass?
Yes.
It's
Yep.
cute.
Was it full gray?
It's cute.
She thinks it must be gray.
Tomorrow, put their ass in
Oh.
bed.
The
Go
cat
to
is
Oh, great,
cute.
huh?
Go to sleep.
It's almost like a blue Russian blue
Yeah.
tiger cat.
Yeah.
I've never
We
seen.
had
See a full
we had
gray
one
one.
out on the farm, and she ended up having like 50 million babies, and she left to go to someone else's house down the road, and all the cats just kept going and going and going, and
Oh, is this what Charlie answered? Come here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
no.
The skunk.
No, oh, that one telling me when I first. This is funny. This is funny here. This is it could be scary too. We were I was living out there. I had just moved out there, and we went to the Eagle Hotel for wing night. And as we're coming back, it was very dark out, and that whole area from once you go veer off onto 137 all the way out to where my house was, it was filled with deer. I mean, I saw one deer jump off that cliff on there going down into Fox Hollow. I saw one jump right onto someone else's vehicle, so I was always driving slow, and I had trouble seeing at night. So I'm like, okay,
Charlie could have done it better.
yeah, it's only a couple miles, so we're driving home, and I'm coming down into Fox Hollow there where Mulfords used to live.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm coming down, and there's a guardrail on both sides. Okay, now I can't swerve to the right, and I can't go to the left because there's a car coming. Right.
Okay.
But right in the middle of my lane is a fucking skunk. Okay.
Mm.
I'm like, I don't want to hit this thing. So I kind of like lined it up. So I kind of just glided right, I just like went right over it. And I looked behind me and there was no dead skunk. Okay. I'm like, all right. But the whole way home, all I'm smelling is skunk. I'm like, I must have hit that motherfucker. Man, it's going to stink. I'm going to have to wash my truck tomorrow. This motherfucker. I got home and it still smells like skunk. But I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to wash my truck tomorrow. So later on that night, Charlie goes and takes my dog, that big, huge Akita I had, over to his parents' house. He's walking along, and he had a because he always had to take the dog over for his coffee and cookie. The dog had to have coffee and cookie with Charlie's dad.
Okay.
This was okay. Anyway, so the dog knows how to lead Charlie over. He was never trained to be a seeing eye dog, but he would actually lead Charlie around. It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of barn cats out there, and sometimes they had a lot of sinus issues, because it was kind of hard to trap them, to take care of them sometimes. Charlie's walking from our house over to his parents' house, and he hears the snorting, and he thought it was a cat. So he reached down and went, "Here, kitty, kitty," and as he's petting it, he went to say, "You're a nice kitty," and when he got to the tail, he realized it's a skunk. Now,
oh my God.
It was the same skunk. Now, that skunk grabbed onto the bottom of my truck, and I got that, I don't even know what it's called, but it's that big pumpkin-looking thing on underneath four-wheel drive trucks. He grabbed onto that and rode it all the way to my house.
Oh my God.
Spraying the whole way.
Yeah, the bell
That's
housing,
why he stunk.
the
Yeah,
bell housing of the truck.
yeah. So for the next 2 weeks, he lived under my in-laws' front porch. And my mother-in-law said, "Becky, I know you like animals, but just because you live out here in the country now doesn't mean you get to bring home one all the time." That thing, that thing didn't spray him. It didn't spray him because it had sprayed from Mulford's to my house, so it didn't have anything else to spray.
Drained his glands.
God. Woo.
Oh my God.
Man.
Becky smelled like it all morning long.
I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, but it still stunk. The next morning, I had to go to work. I'm like, oh my God, trying to get that. I had to wait until after work to wash it because I had to be at work at 7:00 in the morning. So I'm like, didn't really have enough time to get to the.
So what did he do with the skunk?
It lived under their porch for about 2 weeks, and then it left.
Martha fed that fucker.
Yeah, Martha was feeding it with the cats.
Oh.
Yeah, just like the possums. She did that with the possums and coons out there too. I'm like, stop! They're gonna keep coming up on the porch.
Possums won't hurt you though.
Right.
If they bite you,
Apparently, we feed a possum once in a while. We've seen it on the porch a few times with our outside cats.
I mean, they can't get rabies.
No.
And they eat ticks, and
it's like having your own fucking guinea hen in the yard.
Yeah, they're not the cutest things in the world, but at least they're. But they're more afraid of you than you are of them, so they're just gonna leave you alone.
They won't do anything unless you corner it.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the time, they'll just roll over and pretend they're dead. I've seen that.
I've been watching TikTok for the last month and a half. And I can see these guys do a refuge, but they do it at home too. They secure fox, red fox, raccoons, possum. They train them to be nice animals, and they're not really hurting anybody. And I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a possum up close. They've got the nastiest fucking features.
Yeah.
6-inch teeth.
Those teeth.
But they're gross. But they won't harm you. They won't harm you at all.
I saw. I mean, they're freaky enough to look at as it is, but no, it's freakier is seeing a skeleton of one.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God!
Shit.
There was one of the barns up on the farm that was actually out in the pasture where the cows really didn't go in there very often because it was more like a lean-to. And I went in there and I'm like, what the hell are all these fish bones? Because it looked like a freaking fish head. It was the possum. It was possums that had died up there. I'm like, ooh.
That's so good.
No, they were already gone. So all I saw was bones. But it looked like a freaking fish head. I'm like,
fish head.
Yeah, but like piranha with those teeth, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's freaking kind of scary.
Right.
But
The teeth are what
Yeah.
get you.
Oh,
Yeah, they
either
used to mess with
way,
my beagles. I used to have beagles when I was growing
oh,
up, and they'd go out and catch them, and then they'd play possum, and then they'd die, and then they'd take off. You know, dogs think they got it, didn't get nothing.
that would be cute.
Yeah,
yeah.
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 I never had a beagle. John had a beagle. My sister had a beagle. My sister named her
Yeah.
beagle Becky.
Okay. I had 2 beagles. Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a basset hound.
I love my
2
beagle.
basset hounds.
Really sweet dogs.
Yeah.
I still have to admit, this dog has got to be the sweetest dog I have ever met. And she's just so caring, and I don't know.
Retriever. Yeah.
What? I'm talking about the dog, not you.
George got it.
She's the sweetest baby. Yeah. Anyway, we had a decent day today after, I got things done. I went shopping and grabbed stuff for dinner, and
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm home now, and I feel a lot better than I did. I was like a basket case most of the day. I just didn't know what to think.
Right. Yeah.
Between what happened with Casey and then seeing my friend that she does not want to be on life support, and her
Right.
one daughter that's been taking care of her left to go home and get some sleep. And in the course of 4 hours, her mother went from being close to being discharged to being on a ventilator and almost,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm.
So, but she does have, some serious things wrong. So she got bone cancer, and I guess her lungs are filled with clots, and there's not really much they can do. So,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
It was sad, and seeing her like that. But she did wake up a little bit, while we were there. Got a little agitated with the nurses, and then once they left the room, she calmed down. So
Yeah.
you could definitely tell she couldn't really do much, but she was moving, trying to get up. I'm like, don't try and get up, just sleep.
Mm.
And then she went back to sleep and
Right.
had our eyes, and we'll do what we have to. She was a really, really nice lady, and I just hope that she can finally get the peace she needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Fighting the diseases so long, it's got to be painful, and I don't wish that
Yeah.
on anyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
My wife went through cancer.
Mm.
I know what that's about.
Mm.
Yeah. My wife's she's still fighting it. She's over it, but she's still doing the chemo and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
it's a long road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
So far.
But we're
good, so.
seeing that made me feel worse because I was all upset about what Casey put me through, and here she is, and I'm like, oh, just I had a nice quiet ride home, and we came home, and the kids were being good. They weren't terrible once I got home. So
I tried to change her way of thinking. I guess I can't do it all that much. Now I did help put her mother-in-law in the ground. I did help with it. Well, no. It's not that you did anything. It's a very terrible thing.
He helped with hospice. She didn't want to die in a hospital.
No.
She didn't want to die away from home. She wanted to be home. So we set up
At
home.
home.
And it's not fun to watch. I'll tell you that. It's if you have 1 caring ounce of feeling in your body, especially about the person you're helping, it's gut wrenching. And I don't recommend it to anyone because it's not a fun experience. But if that's what that person wants, let them go the way they want. And that's what she wanted. And
I'll tell you this: whether you want to believe this or not, Becky's Becky. You guys have known her a lot longer than I have. You know what kind of bitch she can be. No. Seriously, you know what kind of person she can be. Loving, caring mother. And I'm telling you this: at the end of Martha's death, her own mother-in-law, she ripped her a new asshole. She laid into Martha like there's no tomorrow. You can't fucking.
You did that?
He's swearing at her.
Well,
she's already gone.
Yeah.
She's already gone.
Yeah.
But she ripped into her like, and then she called the paramedics to come pick her up. But
well, as she was there, I was telling her, because she'd been fighting for so long. I'm like, Martha, just if you want to go, go. I'm not gonna hold you back. That woman held on until just after midnight. You want to know why? Because I told her 2 days beforehand that she couldn't die on a certain date. She says, why? And I said, because she kept telling me she was going to die that day. I said, you can't die on that day. She was, why? I said, because I'm already sad. I'm already going to be sad on that day. I don't need to be crying for 2 reasons. I just want one reason. And it was my wedding anniversary. So she waited until just after midnight, which ironically her husband did too, because he waited until just after midnight, because he died on the 3rd of December and their wedding anniversary was on the 2nd of December.
So anyway,
he waited until
a really good night for her then, as it is a really good night for her today. I tell her, let it go. You can't change the past. Move on to the future. Stop looking at that bullshit. Yes, somebody died. I've seen a lot of bodies, but we all handle it differently. And this woman here, Martha, we're talking about, I've dealt with this woman for 2 or 3 years before this all went down.
Yeah, she
in my eyes, I said this to her friends, she's the world's biggest pain in the ass ever. However, she will give you the shit off her back if she knows you're cold.
That's the way she was. That's the way she was. And John actually was one that took her to all of her appointments. I took her to one because he had an appointment himself. Other than that, it was him. And it's a shame that her sisters ended up being the way that they were and accusing us of trying to kill her and doing whatever. Yet they're the ones that set up the estate auction, and they're the ones who tried to put her in a nursing home when she didn't want to go. So who's the one that cares now? But anyway, we did not stay on topic at all, did we? And Jeff can kiss my ass if he doesn't like it.
We did for a little while.
We did. Well, there's only so much we can talk about, and Oh, you're not having any Pepsi.
You want that tomorrow morning? You're not having any tonight. And I'm not waking up tomorrow morning like I did this morning. So go to bed. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Pepsi.
No. Can't say anything. He want this morning. This morning his Pepsi was not in the usual glass cup that he has it in.
No.
And then Molly was putting her earrings on as she was walking out to the kitchen. And he said, I had told him it's time to go to the car. And he said, go to car. And I said, in a minute. And when I said that, that's when he totally freaked. No. Have some water. Take a sip. It's water. There you go. Go to bed.
Pepsi.
No.
Tomorrow morning.
See how he is?
Where's the Pepsi?
Where's the Pepsi?
You want to wait until tomorrow morning? You can wait.
This is actually more words than he's said it's taken us a long time to get him to say words.
No Pepsi.
So.
Oh really? Okay.
Pepsi.
No. Go to bed.
Go to bed. Oh, he's got a good mark on his face.
Pepsi.
I can say I did it. Blame me.
It was him.
Blame
Pepsi.
me. I don't care.
That's our daughter.
I'll go to prison again.
No Pepsi. You want Coke?
Coke.
I have Coke.
That's good. Coke's better than Pepsi.
Hey, where's Mommy's creamer? How about if you get the creamer?
Yeah, while I was gone, he dumped out my entire bottle of creamer.
Coke.
I had one cup of coffee with it this
morning. Did he really?
Coke.
Oh.
And I was going to buy another one, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that because...
Put my keys down.
We have to lock up the Pepsi because he'll take it. And he just grabbed John's keys.
He knows how to use master lock.
Yeah. He's a little shit.
Really?
That's the D&M for you.
Oh.
Pepsi.
Will you hush? Back off. Okay, there we go. Nope. Right here.
What else are we supposed to talk about? What else?
To
talk about? What's this?
I don't know.
Casey.
We talked about. We talked
We
Oh,
talked
scary
about
movies?
Halloween
We talked
movies.
about-
We talked about scary
Yeah.
stuff. We talked
Come
about
over here,
stuff
I'll
we
give
used
you
to
a
do
sip.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
We talked about
Sit.
feelings. We
You're
talked
done,
about
Angel.
death.
Come here.
We're dealing with John.
No, sit.
Supposed to.
That's enough. You don't bite my fucking straw. You
Yes.
did. You little bastard. Go to bed.
We talked about
Yeah.
skeletons in some
Yeah,
movies.
talk about skeletons and fun things, and you got to see the dog, and you got to see both kids. John didn't insult either one of you, so.
No, because I like you. The other asshole, he's an issue with me. I'll call you at 8 o'clock for the podcast. Call me at 7:52.
6.
Call them at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh well, they love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. Anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. As always, we're stumbling through life and just don't know what the hell we're doing. But at least we had fun doing it.
Stumbling over Joe's bones.
Stumbling over Jones' boat. Fuck he's talking about. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. And I'd like to thank you, George and Eric, for putting up with me and making me smile and laugh. And I think I laughed just as much tonight as I did the last few times that we tried to be funny.
Right.
We didn't even try to do it tonight. See, I told you, Eric, if we're not trying, we're actually kind of funny.
It's like a women's orgasm. Just spigot.
Have fun editing, Jeff. We love you. Anyway, thank you both. I'm going to stop recording
See you
and
next Tuesday.
yes, he's having too much fun.
Oh, yes, I am.
Because Jeff can't.
Decipher that one, bitch.
Have fun editing, Jeffrey.
Watch
We
out
love
for
you.
those
All
guns.
right, I'm gonna stop recording and send this to Jeff so he can tell me that we're naughty.
See you next Tuesday.